Have you ever wondered why so many smart, qualified people seem to get stuck in their careers? You know, the corporate ladder is supposed to be this straightforward path, but when you look at the data and expert research, it turns out the reality is, well, way more complicated. In this explainer, we're going to dive into the hidden traps that cause most people to fail on their climb to the top.
And this is the question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps so many high achievers up at night. You've seen it happen. Someone with less experience, maybe even with fewer qualifications, somehow gets that promotion you were absolutely sure was yours. So how on earth is that possible? Well, it turns out the corporate world plays by a completely different set of rules than what we were taught in school.
And right here, this is the core misunderstanding. We're all conditioned to believe in the myth, just work hard, be really good at your job, and success is going to follow. But the reality of corporate life? It's that strategy plus visibility is the real formula. It's not just about being good, it's about being seen as good by the right people.
Okay, let's really get into this, starting with the first major pitfall, what we call the performance trap. And this is a tricky one, because it's where your greatest strengths can, paradoxically, become the very things holding you back from that next big move.
This point is, well, it's brutally honest, but it's so important. Your degree, your fancy certifications, think of them as the price of admission. They get you in the door, for sure, but they will not get you promoted. To move up, you need a completely different set of tools.
And this right here illustrates the classic way people get derailed. So step one, you're amazing at your technical job, right? You're the go-to person. Step two, because you're so good, you get promoted into a management role. And then, step three, you struggle or maybe you even fail because the soft skills you need for leadership, like communication, influence, empathy, they're a whole different ballgame from the technical skills that got you there in the first place.
And that brings us to a harsh corporate truth that we all just have to accept. Pouring all your energy into just doing the work, heads down, that's a strategy for staying where you are, not for getting promoted. It's just the baseline expectation, not the thing that makes you stand out.
So let's move on to our next section and see how this all connects. Because it's not just about what you do, it's also about how you think. Welcome to the mindset trap, where your internal attitude can completely sabotage your external ambition, sometimes without you even realizing it.
You know, a ton of leadership research points to one of the biggest, yet most overlooked reasons for failure. And it's not a lack of skill, it's a lack of coachability. Just imagine this. Two engineers are told their approach to a problem is inefficient. The first one gets all defensive. The other one says, "Oh, interesting. Can you show me where? I'd love to learn a better way." Which one do you think is getting tapped to lead the next big project? It's a no-brainer.
Just think about this for a second. In corporate, ego kills growth faster than incompetence. So many professionals get defensive when they get feedback, instead of seeing it as a gift. That resistance to learning, that ego, is way more lethal to your career than simply not knowing how to do something.
This kind of mindset failure shows up in a few common ways. Just look at this list. Resisting new tools like AI, clinging to the old skills you're comfortable with, not having any clear direction for your career, or, and this is a big one, complaining about a lack of opportunity instead of going out and creating it. These are all signs of a fixed, uncoachable mindset. Okay, so we've covered performance and mindset. The third, and arguably most important piece of this puzzle is the visibility trap. And this is where we get into the often unspoken world of perception, office dynamics, and, yeah, politics.
This is another one of those hard truths from the corporate world. You could be the most brilliant, most productive person on your entire team, but if the decision makers, the people who decide your future, aren't aware of what you're contributing, then, for all intents and purposes, that great work might as well not have even happened.
So what's the solution? Strategic visibility. And let's be really clear here, this isn't about bragging or being obnoxious. It's about professionally and strategically making sure that the people who influence your career understand your value. So for example, instead of just sending your boss a report, you send it with a little note that says, FYI, the key finding on page 3 actually helped us cut project costs by 15%. I'm happy to walk you through how we did it. See the difference? That's strategic visibility.
And this distinction right here is absolutely critical. Performance is what gets you a good annual rating. It's about doing your current job really, really well. But leverage, which comes from visibility, from relationships, from influence, that's what gets you elevated to the next level. You have to have both.
And why is all of this so critical? Well, because the system itself is often pretty flawed. A recent Gallup report reveals a staggering 79% of employees are not engaged at work. And why?
Often it's because of poor managers, who themselves were promoted for their technical skills, not their emotional intelligence. This whole situation creates an environment that often rewards visibility over quiet competence.
And hey, this isn't just an opinion. Decades of research from the Center for Creative Leadership totally backs this up. Take a look at the top 5 reasons that high-potential careers go off the rails. It's not about technical failure. It's all about difficulty adapting to change, trouble leading a team, problems with relationships, and a lack of strategic thinking. These are all soft skills and visibility issues, plain and simple.
So, what does this all mean? What do we do with all this? It means we need a new playbook. We're moving away from the old idea of a simple, straight corporate ladder to something that looks more like a corporate lattice, where movement isn't just up, but it's sideways and diagonal too, and it's all driven by strategy.
The big takeaway here is that success today is a combination of things. It's not either or, it's both and. It's skill plus visibility. It's performance plus perception. Hard work plus smart positioning. It's really about having awareness, strategy, and adaptability all working together for you.
And this really brings us to our final, most powerful point. The goal of moving up, of advancement, that's still there. But the game has fundamentally shifted. The old rules of just keeping your head down and working your tail off, they no longer guarantee you a climb to the top.
Which leaves us with one last critical question to think about for your own career. Now that you know the real game, you know the traps, and you know the strategies, are you playing by the new rules?